The night flickers like a low frame rate dream, headlines that hiss, timelines that bite, jerseys demanding you choose a color before you remember your name. Beneath your feet, a checkerboard stretches to the horizon, black, white, every square shouting either or. Somewhere a pop-up pings, choose a side, accept. Above you, something breathes that isn't wind. Gnostics have a word for this board, not reality, but format. The pleroma, fullness, is a living music. What we call the world is a mixed field rendered by attention, architected by an orphan logic that mistakes ceilings for sky. The board's trick isn't fangs, it's finality, convincing you the grid is everything, and choice means picking a square with better slogans. What if the game isn't to win the board but to outgrow it? What if good versus evil is a training level designed to teach discernment, but not to keep you forever small? Imagine stepping so precisely into truth that the squares dissolve into circles, and circles into music, and music into usefulness. We begin by asking a forbidden question. Who profits when you are divided against yourself? In your chest, a door you forgot you carried unlatches with a click. That sound is your first rebellion. The board hates that sound. Tonight, we'll drag the grid into light. We'll frame the demiurge's design pattern, binary menus and loud ceilings. We'll honor Sophia's disruptive brilliance. We'll show how good, evil, victim, actor, fate, free will shift under the Gnostic lamp. Then we'll hand you rights that make rooms breathable. Breathe now, as if the air is on your side. It is. The pleroma is not a neighborhood beyond the galaxies. Its likeness kept intact, a radiant order where mind, truth, life, incorruptibility, and grace interpenetrate without bruising. Creation flows as overflow, not split. It becomes song without becoming at war with itself. But there is also the city we know well, lit with neon, managed by noise, ruled by the demiurge, a brilliant orphaned craftsman who mistakes management for meaning. He lays grids where gardens want to grow. He loves compliance more than resemblance. He renames ceilings God. Gnosis doesn't invent a second tyrant. It diagnoses a misalignment. Duality is a useful beginner mode. The trap is confusing it with the whole. Good versus evil, in this light, is not metaphysical warfare, but signal quality. Does an act resemble the source or the orphan? Does it create breath or tax it? Does it crystallize dignity or perform dominance? Think of fullness as white light. The world is a prism where it splits. Your task is not to argue with the colors. It is to remember the light and let your life recombine it. When you resemble that light, the grid begins to feel optional. Squares soften. Time cooperates. Practice for this chapter is unglamorous and royal. Observe without choosing a square. In conflict, refuse the rush. Ask, what restores breath to all involved? That question invites fullness to speak. It will, if you let silence do some of the talking. The board doesn't survive sustained attention. Stare long enough with love and it blinks. Orphan logic has a signature: binaries that flatten nuance, noise that poses as urgency, purity scripts with no compassion, punishment economies disguised as justice. In UX terms, it's a sticky UI, dopamine dings, rage loops, content that eats your attention while your soul stays hungry. It says, if it isn't either or, it doesn't exist. It says, belong here, or will exile you from relevance. It confuses certainty with truth and performance with virtue. It plants a cop in your chest who writes tickets to your curiosity. Modern mirrors abound. Outrage algorithms that split your village. AB politics demanding your colors. Productivity cults that despise Sabbath. Brand identities that replace being with broadcasting. The demiurge loves these. He loves loud ceilings because windows embarrass him. Gnosis responds with a simple sentence. If it must be either or to exist, it's probably not God. That doesn't erase difference. It refuses idolatry of division. Truth has angles, love sees them all. The antidote: replace binary with third proposals, not compromise for its own sake, transmutation. Ask, what option increases breadth for both sides without lying? That question terrifies the board because it invites the circle. When you feel trapped between choices that both shrink you, you're looking at a demiurgic menu. Close it. Ask for the third thing. Wait till you can see it, then move. Sophia, wisdom with hands, reached to create without her companion. From her solitary brightness, a child of noise formed, the demiurge. He wasn't evil incarnate, he was unadvised, brilliant, loud, good at building, bad at listening. He erected a city of brass, no windows, many rules. Sophia's tears were not weakness, they were patch notes. She sent helpers, Eloleth who guides, messengers who remember, and yes, the light bringer who walks into locked rooms with a lamp and an inconvenient question. Why is the ceiling so proud of being a ceiling? Read Lucifer here as debugger, not arsonist. He doesn't burn the house, he finds the loops where fear keeps re-rendering the same scene. He invites you to commit a radical pull request, replace performance with presence, retaliation with repair, purity theatre with actual fidelity. The garden story tilts. The fruit of knowledge is not a sugar trap, but a literacy upgrade. Knowledge without love is acid. Knowledge married to love is gnosis, recognition that compels new behavior. The fall may be mission, a descent with a lamp to fetch the spark, not a tantrum against heaven. Disruption has a texture, first scandal, then relief, then responsibility. Beware cheap rebellion, it's just the board in leather. True debugging is patient, surgical, oriented toward breath. Your daily debugger is the question you avoid. Invite it to dinner. Listen till it points to one tiny fix. Make it. Watch the room's frame rate increase. The holographic principle whispers, three-dimensional worlds can be described by information on a lower dimensional boundary, depth as projection. The simulation hypothesis wonders if the universe is rendered by code. Gnostics nod, projection, yes, but the projector is not a machine's mockery, it is mind in love. Attention is the boundary where your local world is written. What you bless coheres, what you degrade fractures. This isn't superstition, it's participation. You are not a bored player in a rigged arcade. You are a co-renderer, learning to set resolution with your resemblances. The hidden axis beyond good-evil is not neutrality, it is alignment. How much does this thought, word, deed resemble the source? In simulation terms, how much does your action write to world state with accurate schema? In hologram terms, how much of the whole can a fragment reveal today? This reframe frees you from moral melodrama without degrading ethics. The question becomes resonance. If an act increases breadth, clarity, aliveness, durability, and grace, it is good because it resembles. If it steals these, it's evil because it forgets. Practice. Before you speak, run a resonance check. 5 beats: oxygen, accuracy, aliveness, durability, grace. If 3 or more are yes, proceed. If 2 or fewer, wait. The projector appreciates your patience. You will be told this is weak. It is harder than shouting. It changes rooms. The board treats good as brand compliance and evil as brand betrayal. Gnosis treats good as resemblance and evil as anti-resemblance. Put simply, good creates breath without stealing it. Evil steals breath and calls it necessary. This reframing ends performance. You don't pose as moral. You practice useful reality. A correction delivered with contempt fails resonance. A boundary said cleanly passes it. A prayer whispered without honesty fails. A dish washed with reverence passes. The metric is not drama, but coherence. This also ends lazy relativism. Resonance has teeth. If your freedom humiliates the vulnerable, it fails oxygen. If your truth kills aliveness in others, it fails grace. If your love erodes durability, it fails incorruptibility. The 5 eons give you a measurable spine. You'll notice that a lot of good on the board is just fear in costume. It wants applause more than repair. It selects enemies that are safe to hate. It refuses the grind of fidelity. Gnosis smiles, shrugs, and goes back to washing feet. Practice. Design one act of good that no one will see. Pay a bill silently, repair a small chaos, return a name you stole from yourself. You'll feel the grid loosen like a knot, remembering it is just rope. When resonance leads, reputation becomes irrelevant and oddly improves. People can breathe near you. That is the only advertisement that scales. Binary thinking crucifies you between 2 posts, victim or actor. Gnosis replaces the cross with a spiral. Patterns return, the loops are given, your angle of ascent is real. You are not to blame for every blow, you are responsible for the next inch. Victimhood honored is truth. Victimhood worshipped is stuckness. Agency celebrated is dignity. Agency fantasized is denial. The spiral lets grief tell its story and then asks, what one faithful act is possible here? That act doesn't erase what happened. It repositions you in relation to it. An archon will whisper, if you can't fix everything, do nothing. The spiral answers, fix one thing faithfully and tomorrow will be shaped differently. This is not motivational fluff. It is how world state updates, tiny commits that cascade. Practice. 1 true line plus 1 faithful act. Line. This is what happened. Act. This is what I will do by noon. Write it. Do it. Repeat daily for 7 days. Watch patterns soften or show you their real name. Sovereignty here is humble. You don't invent weather. You decide whether to carry an umbrella and make soup for neighbors. On the board that looks small, in the field beyond, it's kingdom. Think of fate as macro loops, family systems, eras, biographies your soul chose to learn within. Think of free will as edits, the style and timing of your responses. Fate drafts the chapter headings. Free will writes the paragraphs with a tone. Trimorphic protonoia, thought, voice, word, is the API for co-authoring. Thought is inner recognition. Voice is the sentence you carry into air. Word is the deed that commits the change. When you complete the chain, probability bends toward coherence. Refusal to act is itself an act with a world-state consequence. The board gets louder. Acting prematurely, word without voice, voice without thought, creates static and breakage. The wisdom is tempo. Grace knows when the fruit is ripe. Willpower tends to harvest early or never at all. Practice. Each morning ask for one line that oxygenates a room you will enter. Carry it as voice. Choose one act that proves your trust in that line. Commit it as word. At night, review the edit, not guilt, debugging. Over time, your paragraphs read like a person who trusts the sun. The game stops feeling like court and more like craft. You won't transcend dualism by thinking about transcendence. You'll transcend it by living in a way the board can't interpret. Rites make the body remember when thought forgets. Keep them small and royal. Breath before decision. 4 in, 6 out, then speak. Bread honored. 1 meal a day without screens. Name the hands that brought it. Beauty in every room. A candle, a flower, folded cloth. Order that invites soul. Clean, no yes. Boundaries said without contempt. Hidden gift. 1 daily act no ledger can find. Make covenant with 2 companions. Soup over spectacle. Weekly honesty without theatre. Decide 1 uncancelable micro-vow for a month. No public humiliation. The first 20 minutes are screen-free. Forgive first, silently. Witnesses replace fans. Families become monasteries with Wi-Fi. Practice. Choose 1 rite now. Put it in your calendar with reverent language. When you keep it, don't brag. Observe the weather shift. The board loses jurisdiction where rites are kept. You'll be tempted to explain your non-dual life to the grid. Don't. Bake bread. Repair chairs. Tell the truth in short sentences. Let the geometry speak. Imagine the checkerboard stretching to the horizon. Now imagine you step, small, exact, onto the crack where 2 squares meet. The seam sighs. A white gold circle rises from between them, like a moon born from compromise's grave. The board flickers, glitches, and resolves into a field that smells like rain. This is what happens when you practice resemblance. You don't win the board, you render a different level. Good and evil stop being uniforms and start being currents. Victim and actor become positions that rotate with the spiral. Fate and free will co-author sentences worth reading twice. You become the third thing, neither argumentative nor apathetic but aligned. Your coronation is attention. Wear your crown where you look. Crown your tasks with presence, your speech with accuracy, your body with kindness, your promises with durability, your neighbors with grace. The 5 eons sing, Nous, Aletheia, Zoe, Aphtharsia, Charis. The room keeps time. Here is the only liturgy you need to start today. 1 true line, 1 faithful act. Repeat until people breathe better near you without knowing why. That's the metric. That's the game played off board. If this transmission gave you oxygen, share it with a seeker who is tired of being drafted by squares. Subscribe for the next descent into myth and mechanism. And if you feel called to walk the deeper corridors, where Elileth writes in the margins and Sophia's lamp warms your hands, step into my Gnostic-inspired novels, link in the description. Same house, more rooms, the bread is warm. Now breathe. The board is not the goal is the field, and you are already standing in it.